Thanks to CII for giving us this opportunity to present in front of this August gathering. What I'm going to do in the next 20 minutes is try and take you through quickly why technology is very important and how technology can bring you some breakthrough stuff. I've been here from the morning and all I've been hearing is about technology and the power of technology, use of technology. Somehow my presentation has come at the end, but I'll try and do justice. What I'm going to do today is take you through a quick video clip. I would request you to pay a little attention because it's slightly accented, and that will make my job easier, if not anything else, in presenting to you the job at hand, which is BI analytics and CRM integration. This video, as you can see, elucidates the need for both BI and CRM and the integration of that. Attempts to explain the situation that most of us are in. We heard Mr. Vaidi speaking about the need to know your customer, where the customer comes from, what are his needs, how it can be leveraged and things like that. Very coincidentally, some of the topics that I'm going to touch upon is going to be very similar to this. Would request your close attention to this. It's a 2-minute video.
I've called this urgent meeting for one very simple reason. We're losing customers. Marty! With all of your CRM tools, isn't how the customer's feeling supposed to be your specialty? And you! Marketing. Does that word mean anything to you? And why did the management reporting team wait until the last minute to react? And HR! What are we going to do with HR? And that's not going to be cheap! So, I want to see the solution on my desk tomorrow morning. Get to work!
Good evening, this is Robert Brain speaking. Brain from customer service. Sorry to call you so late. You were one of our customers until January. Could you tell us why you left? No, it is not a joke.
Betty, I know. Look in file C4.
Nothing.
C5 then.
Oh, sorry. We can't find anything in there.
Look again!
Sorry.
Number 13, 55,000. April 25. 55,000! It's not coming from us!
Why did this man leave us? And him! He must be missing some information.
I'm counting on you.
It's not my fault!
I don't understand. I don't understand.
So, I'm listening.
Right, Mr. Chairman. Here it is. I've found, we've found. We now understand what the problem is. You see, thanks to the SWATs, we have been able to centralize all the data, and we now understand why we have been losing so many customers. You see, it's an internal problem. I mean, it's everyone and no one's fault. Simply the lack of communication between the different departments. Don't worry, we can sort this out.
Okay, that's all about what I'm going to talk about today, how we can try and integrate business intelligence and technology and CRM. When we talk about our eyesight, the best eyesight that you could possibly have, I understand, is a 20/20 on both your eyes. So we will talk about a little bit of hindsight and foresight and what is it that is now and beyond. It goes without saying that intelligent enterprises require enterprise intelligence. And as a result of that, one of the ways of reacting to this is by saying that being reactive is what happened, where exactly is the problem, how often, where, how, what actions are needed, and so on. But if one were to look at it proactively, what do I want to happen? What is it that the world is looking at us for? What if these trends continue? What's the best that I could offer? And how quickly can I make that happen, and why is this happening? That's about business intelligence, and that's about foresight and being a little proactive. If one were to kind of summarize business intelligence in a single slide, single page, I think what the answer there would be to get the right information at the right time with the right decision makers. Business intelligence is an enterprise-wide platform. It supports reporting, analysis, and decision making. It leads to a lot of fact-based decision making and a single and a whole version of the truth and nothing but the truth. Of course, it includes a lot of reporting and analytics and takes us very nearer to the moment of truth. In terms of maturity levels, if you see the vertical axis and the horizontal axis, as the degree of intelligence grows up, it goes without saying that your competitive advantage goes up. And that happens over a period of time in terms of first getting into basic ad hoc reports, query information, alerts, and so on, and then virtually into a predictive modeling kind of a scenario, and then optimizing based on that. If I were to move on to CRM, which is the other important topic that we have at hand, it very clearly indicates that we need to have a very customer-centric approach rather than a product-centric approach. I think some of that got talked about today in various forums, including the one we are just having. It also helps you to enable a relationship marketing approach, find customers, understand needs, and fulfill their requirements. Access to the customer account history, order information, what he has done, how many times he has interacted with you, and across how many touch points, aims at improving the service, which is the service part of the CRM, response times, ability to meet his requirements, quality of communication, and of course, last but not the least, is to reduce the cost of buying and using products and services. Once again, if on the service CRM side, if you were to look at it, what is it that the customer is looking at? Allowing him to contact the channel of his choice, recognizing and rewarding value, using the information you have about me to treat him as an individual, treat him consistently and solve his problems first time, and make amends very quickly when things go wrong. I think these are the very basic hygiene needs that a customer would have from a service perspective. From a sales perspective, as many manufacturers are sitting here, the very critical need that the manufacturer would want to have is to first understand the needs of the customer. Offer the products through the preferred channel of his choice. Tell him how better you are than your competitor. Treat him as a repeat and a respected customer. Sell the right solution and deliver it as per promise. And keep in mind that the customer always has a choice. Okay, if I were to dovetail that to the mutual fund industry and we start searching truth, the Gajini way, we are trying to figure out in the industry, where are our customers? What do my customers want? What do my investors want? When do they invest? How they invest? Whom do they tell after they invest? Are they telling 10 more customers, 10 more investors to invest? When they will come back, for what reason? What are they telling? When do I sell? What do I sell? And where do I sell? I think these are typical questions that you would want to know from the customer, and the customer would want to know in terms of what is it that, whether we are meeting the objectives that the customer has in hand. I'm reminded of Robert Frost, one of the famous poems, Miles to Go Before I Sleep. I guess in India, as I'm talking to you, CRMs are really not in a fully evolved stage. The BI implementation at best is at a very nascent stage. Industry data is not fully present in a structured format. And there is also insufficient data for true customer mining. And databases are disparate, difficult to integrate. The result is Murphy law. Information is not available when it is most needed. Okay, the schema for business intelligence and CRM, therefore, to provide the combined power is what has been explained in this slide. At the bottom of the pyramid, at the bottom of the slab, you see the line where you first create the right set of data from the right sources. It could be data from customer contact channels, transaction data, competitive intelligence, other unstructured data, market info. On top of that sits a service and a sales CRM and other CRMs. Then the business intelligence and analytics come in, and that gives you the decision support and finally leads to you a world of wisdom. A couple of samples to reiterate the point. The way book selling happened completely changed with the introduction of Amazon. And as you get into Amazon, if you search for a book, you are also reminded of other related books as an upselling to tell the customer that these are the other opportunities available for you and these are very recommended, these are read at the length and breadth of the world. If you go to an airline, and these days airlines seem to have a reasonably good CRM, and if you have not traveled with one of the airlines which you have been frequently traveling, this is the question you get asked. Sir, you are a frequent flyer with us. We have been missing you for some reason or the other in the last 1 month on your flights. I hope you have not switched on to our competitors. I guess many of us in this room would have experienced that. That's the power of CRM. The solution, therefore, is to use software as a service. This is not that SaaS Bahu as we see in serials. This is software as a service which will cater to accessing data anywhere, anytime, subscribe to the system rather than purchase the software upfront. It is low cost, very negligible maintenance, high amount of shared data and quick deployment. There are many suppliers that I have mentioned here who actually provide this kind of innovation and this kind of technology, and it's always up to date with the latest features. I just want to recall this movie, this book which also got converted into a movie, this book called Secret. This book talks about several inventors, how they got about, finding out how a bulb works to the latest technologies on mobile and things. The only one underlying theme in that process was this law of attraction. We call it in many ways. We call it as necessity, as the mother of invention. We call it as a law of attraction. Very simple stuff, very, very relatable stuff that we have in the marketplace, I can tell you. Till about a few years back, the Indian railway reservation system was quite a nightmare. People had to stand in long queues. Their names would get entered wrongly. People would, the customer-facing staff there was not fully equipped. He was treating you as the 200th customer of the day, and he's really tired. And then you have lunch breaks and this and that. And then this website of the railways comes up, and immediately you see a huge amount of customer satisfaction building up, a huge capability model coming up. People are even willing to pay a small charge because they're getting what they want at the right time. And you have umpteen options built into it. You can switch the train ticket, you can buy online, you can cancel it at a very negligible charge. These days, whenever you buy train tickets, the first thing I tell if somebody has to travel by train is that go and buy the ticket first. Because if you do it within 24 hours, before 24 hours, the downside is only 10 rupees or 20 rupees or some very small number. So the law of attraction, the ability to act as the necessity as the mother of invention, as I said, has been very, very beneficial, and therefore software as a service is the next generation tool that we all need to adopt. A couple of things, I will close this presentation with a couple of slides, and this would kind of open up the lateral thinking process. We have heard speakers in this forum speaking about the mutual fund industry in comparison with the insurance industry and then the banking industry and so many other industries that one could think of, which is in the BFSI segment, so to speak. But many times when we want to compare our numbers, we would compare it with our immediate competitors. We would compare it with what is happening within. There is 8 lakh crores out there in the market. How much do I have? What's the percentage of the equity vis-a-vis others and things like that. A few interesting shots, I'm sure some of you would have seen it, but at the sake of repeating it for the benefit of others. Who do you think sells the largest number of cameras in India? Is it a Sony or a Canon or a Nikon? The answer is none. The answer is Nokia. Just to take that example forward with a couple of more examples, who runs the biggest music business in India? Is it a Sony or a T-Series or a Times Music? Mobile service providers. So you have a whole generation of players who are not from the same industry and who have taken away a whole lot of market share from you. You take the example of airlines. whether it is British Airways competing with Singapore or Indian or Lufthansa or Emirates or so on, telepresence, video conferencing is the biggest alternative that has emerged, and the costs are continuously. There's one cost that we can take pride in which is coming down is the technology cost. Whether it is networking, whether it is hardware, I'm not so sure about software because software gets developed by a whole lot of people behind. And the telepresence video conference solution providers have really made a significant dent in that market. You don't want to travel 24 hours to US, even if you're traveling business class, and then go and have a meeting, rather sit here, save on all the cost and pay half the price. Lastly, again, as someone said it, the choice is very clear. The choice is very clear for each one of us as to how we would like to position ourselves, how we would like to draw upon business intelligence, which is much beyond the industries that we operate in. And I thought that it could be best summed up in a couple of words, which is like this. The choice is ours. The choice is very clearly to have breakfast or be breakfast. Thank you so much.